All right. Well, the Steelers are taking on the Rams here in this one. Oh, shades of 1979. No, what year was that? Steelers and Rams have actually met in the Super Bowl. Steelers won that one 31-19. I know that. Just remember, I think that was the score. And Super Bowl stands out for me. Just watching it a long time ago. And yeah, look at Mike talking about that other game. I do want to talk about the that the Cardinals, of course, will be taking some chances moving forward with um, you know if they do indeed have Kyler Murray come back to the lineup with that knee injury. But just want to mention, acknowledge that with Mike Kyler not back this week, but uh, they're going to take some chances. It sounds like. T Money says this afternoon card not that great. Ziggy wants to take the Rams here in this one with the Steelers coming in a non-conference game here with Pickett, who you know was injured before the bye, but he's going to be able to make this start here. And well, Pickett, you could do worse than 10-7. Pickett's record as a starter. Um, funny, Mitchell Trubisky, he's a winning quarterback too. Don't in his career, but the Steelers have been getting off to some slow starts of late. They've been outscored 26-3 in the first half, and Pittsburgh always clutch in these close games. But it's really the division games where they're all always so closely rated, right? Uh, I don't know. Here in a non-conference game, feels a little bit more uncomfortable. Blake already ready to check in on the Rams. The Rams certainly have some issues in this game. Now, I don't know how it's going to affect them and their strategy, but they have running back issues. Not that they were, a great running team coming in or anything like that, but now with Kyron Williams out, the Rivers out, the Rams are kind of scrambling a little bit. Will that throw them into a mode where they feel like they have to pass the ball more? We already know they've, with Stafford and Cup back in the lineup now, and Puka Nakua, who getting the same amount of action almost. Maybe not the same amount of targets, but it's funny that they'd have two kind of the same route runners in there. It is kind of, I thought that Nakua would find himself without as much. Sure, the numbers are off the charts, but you can have Cooper Cup running the same routes. And yeah, I understand you can get away. You could have two of the same type of receivers in there, and you can line them up. That's the possibilities are endless. You don't need, but those two players, as good as they are, do have some limitations. So, but the Rams, going to be in a situation laying points here, and uh, that's a little bit tough. Rams 6-11-1 against the spread, coming off of a win, and uh, the Rams, like I said, those slow starts have kind of been affecting them. But can the Steelers get much going on offense at all right now? Four of the five Steeler games so far this season have gone under. And man, Pittsburgh's good in close games, no doubt, but just have worries with a non-conference game here across country. Steelers have been outgained by 120 yards per game so far this season. So I think even the Steelers will find a little bit of success offensively here, and maybe it'll be because of what the Rams end up doing offensively as well. And with a controlled environment of the um, SoFi Stadium a little bit, I think that, I think the stadium lends to a fast track with being a closed facility, a roof facility. if you will. So this is one of the few totals that we've seen go up this week. Team Money likes the Rams to win this one 24-17. I'm going over in this one as my free play. I was actually going to consider this for a premium, but now at 44, I'm probably just going to keep it here as make it a free play. And I do like it to go over with this Rams offense. And no doubt, I don't want to ignore the fact that the Steelers and that vaunted uh, defense, pretty sure that's, I want to say yardage bottom three in the league. I'll cut them some slack, and we'll just generally. But the Steelers' defensive numbers are not Steeler like right now. There are issues, to say the least, with their numbers right now defensively. Very concerning. If you're the and you think you're the Steelers will be able to fix those a little bit. But I'd rather be playing the Brown. I'd rather be taking my chances at home, playing the Browns, the Steelers, the Ravens. In division, and take my chances with the defense that way, and not against this Rams team. Team Money says, the offense. When you put teams in bad position, and that's always the case, right? T. We know that even a great offense sometimes can hurt the defense if they're too good. You want ball control drives. The Rams don't necessarily give that to you. I think the Steelers are able to get points here in this game and get their share of their team total and get it to help this game go over today as my free play. And one other thing to know, I mentioned something on a show last night. I don't know. I was trying to see if I was thinking, maybe the type of teams that play, because I've been on here harping about the unders this season, what type of games are going under, what situations, and one that I haven't talked about, but is certainly of note, is that on Sundays, because everybody knows about prime time, right? We all, prime time unders, prime time unders. The public's betting overs. You always get a little extra juice, like a little extra half a point or point there, probably. Usually dealing with good teams. Well, supposed to be dealing with good teams in primetime games. On Sundays, the early games, those that start at 1 p.m. Eastern and 10 a.m. Pacific, the early games have gone 17-32 to the under. Okay, a little 63.5% or so under on the early games. the late games have gone 13-10 to the over this season. That's the only the window, the 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific window, not the late game or anything like that. And the thing about that, okay, 10-6, that's not that big a deal. But when you're talking about such a contrast with the early games, and don't forget, last year we saw the games go 12 unders and 2 overs and 1 push or whatever it was. It was a big week for the unders, and those afternoon games, which entered the day 13-6 to the over, 70%, 69%, went 0-4 to the under last week. But still, to me, it looks like early games under, late games over. And I don't know. Usually, there's a little bit of marquee window to that afternoon. There are less games in the afternoon usually. Today you got a 6-4 split. So, all right, enough about all that. I'll just take the over in this one. Steelers and Rams. I'm on some overs today. I'm big on I'm Mr. Under. Remember, funny, I got mad at my 12. You look at my record here on the side with my winning in the yeah. Oh, Terrell, I don't count the night game as a afternoon game. I'm just saying the 4 o'clock, the 4 o'clock window with the four games: Cards, Seahawks, Steelers, Rams, Chargers, Chiefs, Packers, Broncos. But here's the thing with that is that uh, uh, the teams in that 1 o'clock window, right? It's always like the NFL's kind of marquee mat is like that 125, that 425 game, right? Yeah, sometimes, but that's the national game, as they kind of say, right? You don't really have that in the morning the way the way they planned it out. I say morning. I'm on the West Coast. Nothing like having a big breakfast with NFL football. You guys having just plates all over, watching 7 or 8 games, sausage, pancakes, bacon. I know it's 1 o'clock in the East Coast, but all right. Rams money line and parlays for Mike. Are the Steelers in that position? You think today, right now? I mean, they are underdogs, so maybe that's I get that. That's what if that's what you're saying on that one, Terrell. Interesting proposition there. Justin will go over with me. Okay, so I finished my story there. So I you look at the records of all, like I said, pull down the NFL menu, and I'm on all these totals, and well, I go under a lot. And well, I mean, if the unders are 68% or whatever, might as well go under. But I tried to go over in some games last week, lost those games. on, I think I was on both the games that on premiums. Two games went over, right? I think I was on them both. Or yeah, two games went over. I mean, or whatever when I went over, it went under. Okay, Mike, you don't like Pittsburgh money line. Oh, you're wrong on that. Take Pittsburgh money line. I think okay.